to name names, but I mean, he was one particular person who actually was one of the character carvers, or one of the carvers of the year from the Wood Carvers Illustrated. And there I seen him in a class during the Wood Carving Congress there. As one of those kind of easy classes that even I could do at the time. And there he was as a student. And I talked to him later, because you get somebody else's perspective on it. And to me is when I take a class, or if I'm a student, if I, as opposed to somebody who's brand new, will learn a lot. But to me is if I can walk away with one piece of something that I've never known before, it was worth it. How to make it easier, better, sharper, smaller, taller, whatever. Okay, let's get back to, what did I take? That's because I had a name. Where is my, so we want to lift. Oops, watch that grain. Just if I can learn one thing extra. And that's why when you take a class, don't just sit there and start carving the way you do. You look at your instructor as if you're just a brand new student, as if it's brand new. And you pay attention. And you'll be surprised. You just walk away with one thing. Now remember how I was saying how this, I want to pretend that this is flat? That's what I'm trying to do here, is I'm trying to, let's say, flatten this out so that all of this will come to the same level, is what I'm kind of aiming for now. Something about just getting this chisel and just banging out this wood here, and then you have to pay attention, I know that. And you have to pay attention to your hand. I know that too. But you have to pay attention, not taking too much off. So then you can say, oh gee, I should have thought about that. And one thing I kind of proved I didn't do was thinking 1 or 2 steps ahead. I mean, I thought I got happy with what I'm doing here. And that's what I do. There's some more videos coming up. I think I've seen, I may have done this in my other videos, is showing what I would call like round 1 and round 2. And it's something about, and I had fun with each. I mean, a lot of carvers, they'll just carve something and they're done. And you move on, that's fine too. But it's like, what have you learned from that? And one of the first videos, this is during the days when you can rent these VHSs from your clubs, and that's what I did. How to carve this kind of unorthodox Santa. Guy's name was Ben Glass. I wonder if he's still out there. And so I carved a few of his. I did one, and I did what I've learned, and did it again and again, of course. And as I kept carving, I thought, well, what would happen if I were to just do this? It'll make this a little easier and faster. How I make the beard come to the arms, so there's no separation, so there's no body to carve. It's just arm and beard. Then what would happen if, and I kept doing it more and more, until finally I kept some of mine from his earlier videos and put it right next to the ones that I do today, and you can't even tell that they were any way related. This is the same pattern. No, it isn't. Well, and now, and that's the whole idea, is now it is, what I do is mine and not his. And all right, now I just want to start bringing this up. Oh, be careful of the, again, we're still plowing. And as we get most of the wood off, we can shape with the knife, because I probably could be taking the knife now and shape. I think there's still more I got to come off here. But yeah, if you're you like to do character carving cowboys, Lynn Doty, he's the guy to go to. He's the one. And there's others out there too. And there's if you like the beginning is oh, like I said, his name was Bolton, was his name. One of the original character carvers of America. His cowboys are very simple. You can get a lot of cowboy out of a piece of wood, which I think he was one of the originators of character cowboys. I'm not sure. Making it funny. Now it's still a little thick. It could get, you could have, we can almost end here if you want. I don't, making it kind of thick or something like that. I would prefer to shape it a lot more, because I think I'm going to take a smaller number 9 and get in there to make this bow a little more. But like I said, right now I just want to get this shape going, and in hopes to get this, not hopes, but we will get this connected to his hand. Ooh, careful. Ooh. Still okay. Which means we have to take a little bit off on this side too. A little bit, I said. I'll do a little bit of shaping and taking, here, before I do that, like I said, I want to, that was a number 7 I had there, that's good. Where's a nice small number? Oh, here we go. Oops, sorry. Got one bigger than that handy. Yeah, here we go. Smaller number 9. And I got even smaller than that. It's just, let's get in there. Let's round this off a little more. All right, and if we really want to do even smaller, remember, this is going to be our face. This is going to be our eyes. Eyes number 9. Let's get some undercutting as best we can. You still could have had it a little quick flat if you wanted to, but this adds more character. Caricature. Okay, like I said, shape later. I always, especially when it comes to teaching and doing videos here, is if I can just at least get the rough enough so you know how to, or you know what to do after that. Now I think, let's see, prove myself wrong. We can do the knife here. Let's round this a little bit. Kind of confirm the curl, as it were. Curl. Okay, so I can, since I got this extra wood here, or extra thickness, I'll just bend it a little bit, just a little bit. I'll cut down some more. Whereas here, I just want to, for now, I just want to take the saw marks off. You always want to take the saw marks off so it's yours. As it were. And then I still want to round this a little bit too. Oops, we're sliding again. Get that saw marks off and round the bottom. I didn't start on that side, but not on this side. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of a kink. That's one of the things, one of Marv Kaiserstadt's rules is there's never a straight line in his characters. And he believes in that. And I think that's true too. I mean, it has to be purposeful, but even if it's purposeful, he has a way to take a straight line and bend it, and still some of his stuff, geez, I wish I won the lottery so I can just pick out a couple pieces and just keep putting $100 bills down until he says ouch. That's what I want. Okay, this thing here, he has a class, at least 1 or 2 a year. I think he's starting to slow down, so you better catch him while you can. But it's, it's up in Faribault, Minnesota, but it is worth it. I mean, I made some, a couple of buddies in New York, a couple of buddies in, South Dakota. They come out. People come out. And I think some of these are worth it, the congresses, for example, the wood carving congress. That's everybody. I mean, we've got from east to west, New York to Seattle to Texas to Canada. Because I check it out, the wood carving congress. I don't know the clubs. It's under the club's name. I'm going to try to, I'm in the process of making on my site, www.scottcarvings.com. I've just been quite busy lately, but I believe I do have at least, no, I do have their site. No, I'm sorry, it's others. Carve Fest, I want to get that up. Chris Carve dash Fest with no E, Carve, CARV dash fest.com. That's another big timer. Everybody comes out there. Some Character Carvers of America, we'll be teaching. And if you, by this video, you get on there and you missed it, or it's autumn or winter or something, just register your name to get it for next year. Okay, I think I am relatively good enough. If there's any more adjustment that has to be made, so be it then. But now we're into the connection phase. How will this connect? I will be surprised if we did it the first hand, but you can see how much more we'd have to go. We would probably have to do something with this end too. And of course the hand is too wide. But, so you can see, if you can get in there, you can see that there's even a spot where it's too narrow. So we're on the right spot, right phase. Before I put this down, let me just take a little bit of this off, just to, I'm kind of hoping nobody would really notice. That's why there's this philosophy, this art philosophy, that the eye will see what it wants to see. In other words, if you have, same with cartoons, and most of them only have 4 fingers, and the reason why is, I guess, save money, but you just don't pay attention, especially in the reach and the hands up and all that kind of stuff. The eye sees 4 fingers and a thumb. It sees it. So if this hat is not perfect, geometrically perfect, realistically perfect, people are not gonna, they ain't gonna. And see, I can also take some from the pants. Now, I know I gotta shrink I do need to shrink the, or thin the hand, not thin the hand, but thin it this way. And, ooh, it's getting there. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Look at it. That's how close we are. Woo-hoo-hoo. So here's what I want to do next. I want to thin the arm and thin this arm and get a good idea of how the hand is going to be. Excuse me, so I got it there. Now we got to remember this particular coat, or shirt rather, is that's a nice winter shirt. Has this band or something. I like that picture. Can you see that? See the white snow. He's in the middle of the snow. I love that picture. God, that's a tough old guy. I wouldn't mess with him, gun or anyways. Whether he has a gun or don't have a gun. Or a lasso that would grab me and throw me around. I mean, that is a tough guy. People would say, I'll bet you in his time, today is his time. Am I still on? I gotta swing over this way more. Now I want to, like I said, I like to put the elbow line in, which is a detail, but that helps me round. I think I'm going to bring it up a little more. See, even though I'm supposed to match from the back, but I still want to match from the front. See, if it comes down, that arm comes down, it will match. Okay, thin this arm a bit. Or not thin, but narrow it, I think. So trying to narrow it. Because this should be narrowed a little bit. I'm going to cheat a little bit here. Sorry. Makes or not cheat, but adjust is what I'm trying to say. And narrow it a little more. Oh, that's the pocket there. Now it's starting to get a little hairy here. Again, clean up and fix up later. There's some of the belt. Clean that up later, but just kind of put it in there so we can see. Again, there is a lot of fur in there. Where's my... Yeah, here it is. That helps some. At least it'll just keep us going here. Now the fun part. Let's clean this a little bit. Now his... It's going to be like about here's worth. I'll pencil that. I just don't want that in there right now. Now the hand, like I said, I want the width about, yeah. And we'll still put in a little bit of a thumb. And then here, let's be realistic here, from here to here. So we're going to be cutting off about this much. So his hand is going to be like this. We'll start with that. Do I have a ruler? I got a ruler. I mean, those kind of measurements, what I was doing is fine too, but here is, let's say, that's 1.8 inches. Inch and an eighth. That's, if that's going to be the wrist. I mean, here with the thumb is an inch. It's about with the thumb there. Okay, so I would like to cut here. And cut this up a little bit and cut this back. Take that saw mark out of there. You probably won't have that saw mark, but I'll take that out of there just for, if I do this, then this, and then bring this back. So it looks like it is coming out of the hand. The hand is coming out. Oops. Careful about burying the tip. No, I want to be careful. I'll round this a little bit because it's more realistic to round it. But it'll also help slide that in, get the finger out of the way. I'm going to be doing this. Just thumb out of the way. Getting there. Now the shape. Here's what I want to be careful, because since I cut this in there, if I start putting pressure, I might snap that off. So I'm going to have to go this way. As I have mentioned, I do have a Cowboy rough out. He's got his hands on like this, but it's on both guns, and so it comes with enough, say, lumber to put your gun in there like he's drawing. And again, if you got a nice cowboy idea of him doing some, I have another design. I don't know if it's would be popular. I loved it. I've done it twice. It's close to this. He has a cigar out, but the cigar is in his hand, like he just pulled it out. And he has his hand on his gun. And his head is probably twisted a little more, and then when you do the eyes will be over. And I called it spooked. And then put the sheriff's badge on there. And he is like he's just minding his own business with the cigar, and he pulled it out, and like he heard something behind him, and said his head would be over, be down around there like that, for a body like this, like he's just ready to pull and prevent himself from getting shot in the back. So I don't know. Would that appeal to you if I carved another one of those, or I'm trying to even look for a rough out too, rough out pattern. Okay, I'm going to take this a little piece at a time. I don't want to, because this is end grain, so it's hard. I'm chomping into the leg. I don't want to do that. Like a cowboy. What are you going to... Maybe we can do a cowboy, another couple of cowboy escorting a lady or something, you know, in the arms. I did have, it didn't go very well. I did have a Hitchcock, and I did have an Annie Oakley, but that didn't go very well. Hitchcock was okay. It was fair. Annie Oakley was, I want to say, a disaster. I mean, I did a good job. It's just as far as sales or people wanting it. Okay, we'll round this a little bit. We're getting closer here. And like I said, we will, when you put the head in, I'll pencil in to make room for them. In fact, we can V. I don't want to do that right now, because if I do a V, it'll loosen this, and when we're trying to jab that up in there, oh, you know what? Oh, for heaven's sakes.